Hey everyone, so we're going to do a quick recap of first Wilds of Eldraine pre-release. Went to the 7 p.m. Friday night, first one. We had 29 people, uh, great group, local LGS, and I was able to take out the 3-0, 6-0 for first place on tiebreakers. A lot of fun, played some really nice people, had a great time. So just wanted to review the deck, what worked, or maybe could have been a little bit different, kind of the matchups, how everything's played out. So first off, I'll say the majority of my rares were not playable. I did get the promo foil Heartflame Duelist, and this was real useful just for the instant side, but I did use Treasure or Crystal Grotto to cast the creature side. A couple times, but mostly it was just an adventure. And then I ended up having the double white pipped Wrath and the double white pipped Werewolf Bodyguard that like banish a priest, and then when it leaves, the creature comes back. And I had those in the deck, but ended up taking that and going with this more streamlined build. But you'll see this was the rare that we played. We had like 3 unplayable black rares, and yeah, so we just had very streamlined, aggressive deck that looks pretty similar to what I think like a red green draft deck will look like. It's generally nice if you can have a draft deck in Seal. So this was very streamlined, and we're able to consistently make plays on 2, 3, 4, hold up interaction, pressure the opponents. We'll say we lost the die roll all 3 times, so we were on the draw all 6 of the games we played, which I think is just a testament to how good some of these interactive cards were and the ability to put on pressure and then kind of take whatever initiative the opponent had back from them with some of the powerful 3 drops, either you're putting rolls on, adding mana, or you can double spell, stuff like that. But I will say, we actually didn't see a couple of these cards the entire night. So, like, we never saw any of the Torches of Defiance the entire night. Never saw the Questing Druid, which was the other rare we got to play the entire night. And then we saw everything else. So that's helpful just kind of keep in mind. I will say top performers overall, and we'll kind of talk about it in the matchups. When we faced our white-blue deck first round, they had some good interaction. They had ways to try and tap creatures or destroy a tap creature. So like Royal Treatment was really useful against them, able to hold up with a single mana, oftentimes off like a treasure from the Red Cat Thief, or just on turn 4, play like a Genealogist to make a creature big and hold up this treatment to blow out whatever interaction they were going to play. It was really, really good. And then against Blue White as well, the ability to make it so they couldn't really do chump blocking by either like adding on a monster roll token with the Curse of the Werefox, which was nice to be able to kill their generally a little bit smaller creatures and then open up an attack. Make it so we had oftentimes like a 3/4 creature, or sometimes a 4/5 creature with these Red Tooth Genealogists, putting a counter on one of our 2 drops. Made it so we could get our attacks in earlier, which is really effective. And then just in general, we were able to oftentimes play a 2-drop and play a 3-drop. And then on turn 4, we might have 5 mana if it was like a Red Cat Thief, and that allowed us to do double spells. Play another creature, hold up an interaction spell. And in terms of interaction, the Adventure side of Heartflame Duelist, the Heartflame Slash, was really useful. One, it wasn't really expected by opponents because it's it's Adventure on an off-color rare. This has allowed us to blow out double walks a couple times, which was really nice. Though Torch the Tower could have done this as well. So it's not like you have to have a rare to do that, but it was nice to have that instant speed interaction. And then again, Royal Treatment obviously helped with that a lot. I will say something that was really cute, and another thing that opponents weren't really expecting was the blow off steam from Frolicking Familiar, which we could do off of some Mountain or a Treasure, and then we could play this Familiar off of one of our many sources allow us to splash, like the double Red Cap Thief and the double Crystal Grotto were really helpful. So we didn't play an island for this. We didn't play a plains for this duelist either. Didn't really need them. Granted, we did have a Brave the Wild, so like maybe we could have done something a little bit differently, but it turned out to be fine. Second round, we played against Black Red. They had some enchantments, creatures come into play, ping you, and make its own creatures attack. They get increased power. So they tried to go wide with rats. And we just got fortunate to be able to stabilize a little, establish a bit of defensive speed of some of our 2/3s that turned into 3/4s. They had a couple good artifacts, so we were able to blow them up with the oof. The new icy manipulator was one of them, and then the iron crag for their 2 Totenhans was useful as well to be able to blow up. Yeah, so it was good to be able to have interaction. Those kind of turned into 2 for 1s. We got rid of like a food token, or got rid of like a treasure once, and that was just really good to be able to kind of stymie their plan a little bit. Uh, and then because the rats couldn't block, once we were able to play our kind of bigger proactive game with them, it made it tougher for them to kind of set up good blocks and then attack us back favorably because we could then usually have a good blocker back. I was a little worried about the steal and sack side of things. Not as much the sack though. They did not have the split card, the red mana, the fling, and the 1 and a black to put it in play. Counters equal to creatures that died that turn. They didn't have that, but if they could have, we had some tough spots where we had to just play like they didn't have that. But even if they had to steal, they could have like taken our Hamlet Glutton or taken something bigger and opened up a bigger attack for them. So it did require some more careful planning. Used royal treatment once to blow out a candy grapple from them, which is really nice to set up like a 2-for-1, or actually a 3-for-1 because they sacked something with the candy grapple. So that really helped in one of the games. And then being able to try and get up on cards because they didn't have as many adventures. So being able to like get a food from Hall Avenger helped us to get out of like alpha range, life gain from the Glutton. Being able to draw some cards with the Tanglespan Lookout was really good. So in the black-red matchup, the roll treatment was really good again. Some of the life gain with the food, the Glutton was good. And then the 2/3s that we were able to turn into 3/4s with different roll tokens, really helpful. And then Tough Cookie was also great. They did Candy Grapple this in one game because I was able to hold it the mana to make a 4/4, so I just was able to sack the cookie to gain some life, and then held up another 1 mana interaction spell, and kind of blew them out when they went to combat. So that was good. So it just being able to do a lot of stuff at instant speed was really helpful, and being able to get on the board with reasonably sized threats was good. And then final match for the trophy was against White Black, and they had pretty good enchantment, some good interaction, pretty good removal. So again, royal treatment came in huge. We had to be careful when we used our adventures, the duelists and familiars, so they didn't get blown out and we just lost the creature. So we were really careful about seeing when they'd tap low or tap out, trying to play around cards like Rat Out or Candy Grapple. And then again, Glutton was really strong. And then, the Genealogist was really good to make our 2-drops a little stronger. And the Pigment Ruiner helped us kind of get ahead on cards because we ended up putting, play the Adventure, proc the Familiar's Prowess-like ability, put 2 counters on that, put another counter on this, let me find it, Verdant Outrider, so they couldn't use, 2/2s to block and trade with it. And that's how we set up lethal in game 2 when they were at 5. Tacked with this, tacked with that, both were 5 power. And was able to kind of get it through. So this had good ways to use mana. I think most turns I was using almost all my mana from turns like 2 through about 6 or 7, which was really nice because a lot of these adventures help fit it in when you could. The single mana interaction was really helpful. Some activate abilities being to like crack foods, stuff like that. And we'll say in terms of like overall MVPs of the day, Hamlet Glutton was just fantastic. Coming in, gaining life, cast it on turn 5 once, turn 6 another time. Just really, really strong. Royal treatment was always played up on mana. Oftentimes it's a 2-for-1 because it would, blow out a trick and maybe make a block better. So like kill a creature, or would provide some pseudo life by like blowing out a trick and making so they couldn't attack. So now I have a bigger creature. Was really, really useful. I never got to play Torch the Towers, but I have to imagine these would have been very good given the situations that I saw come up, where I could have used a single mana to just absolutely, wreck up a board, or there were some double blocks they did that I was able to take out, with like the Heart Flame Slash, but Torch Head Tower would have done it just as well. I was a big fan of Curse of the Werefox. This was really good, even though I was on the draw, all 6 games. Oftentimes, if they tapped out on their like turn 4, I could like play a Curse of the Werefox to kill what they played, hold up a single mana interactive spell, open up an attack for me to try and take that initiative back and be the aggressor, be proactive, or do it on turn 5 or 6 and hold up like a duelist, or hold up a royal treatment plus a 2-drop or crack food or something like that. Tough Cookie only showed up twice. Once it was killed pretty quickly because it was recognized as going to be a big threat. Other time, and just wore a roll and got into the red zone with 3 or 4 other creatures, but that was still strong. The Lookout was good because they could only play so many removal spells at different creatures, and I tried to set up to where I could play this and then play an aura either that turn or the next turn and be holding up like a royal treatment to try and pull out them trying to kill it, which did happen once. So that was really good. And then Picnic Ruiner was nice because it did open up attacks, and then it gave me a 2/2 double striker for the next turn. And then this let me loot a few times. In particular, I had this into an Outrider on 3. I got to loot. And I remember, what else did I do? What did I put counters on from? I think I put counters from the Picnic Router to open up some good attacks and open up a loot on like a turn 4 in one game. That was good. And then Brave the Walls just helped with mana. 17 lands, best of 3. No hand smooth in real life, so that was really useful. Scavenger was fine. Threat of Activation was real, and the food was nice. Gain life with it once, sacked it once. And then Red Cap Thief did help kind of ramp me on mana, so I could set up double spells on turn 5. So yeah, deck played really well, really good curve. Not a good interaction. Big bodies, like they were at or above rate compared to what opponents were doing. So yeah, I think this color pair will be good in sealed and then as well in draft. I did feel like the white cards were okay. Blue cards weren't that good. And then the red that I saw was good, and then the green that I played, obviously, which is the bulk of this deck, was good as well. So we'll see. It might be more of a Jund format. It might not. Time will tell. But I hope you found this useful. I hope you have fun at your pre-releases, and have a good one.